Hello everyone, this is Miss Diz here, coming at you with a new vlog about Disney World. Before we get started, please make sure to subscribe to the Miss Diz channel so you don't miss any of my updates or tips when it comes to Disney World and Disney Cruise Line. Today I'm going to be talking about my favorite places to eat while I'm at Disney Springs in Walt Disney World. These places are going to be my favorite restaurants and also my favorite things to drink and snack on while I'm shopping at Disney Springs. Obviously, these are my favorites. You might have other favorites. I might leave something off that you enjoy when you're at Disney Springs. But like I said, these are places I usually don't miss when I'm at Disney Springs. My recommendations aren't going to be in any particular order besides the first one because it is my favorite place to eat at Disney Springs and honestly all of Walt Disney World. So let's get started. My favorite restaurant to eat at Disney Springs, and like I said, in all of Walt Disney World, is the Boathouse. So we can see it here. This is the outside of the Boathouse, and it is meant to look like a boathouse. You're right next to the water, and there is a whole bunch of nautical and yacht kind of decorations to set the mood. Most of all, this is my favorite restaurant because the food here is outstanding. It just combines great food and great ambiance perfectly into one. Now, my favorite things here on the menu are as follows. First, I love to get the lemon drop martini. It is amazing. It is outstanding. They kind of put this lemon crystal pop in it that has sugar, lemon taste that falls right off it into your drink as you're drinking it. It is so good. You must get the lemon drop martini. Some of my favorite appetizers include the oysters. I always enjoy getting the oysters here. I am a big oyster fan, but if you're not a big oyster fan, the firecracker shrimp is also an outstanding dish. It does have a little bit of red pepper on it, so beware. I don't think it's overpowering at all. It's just to give it a little kick. And when it comes to the main meal, I always have the same thing. I never change it up because I love the filet mignon here. It is outstanding. You can get the smaller one or the big one. I've had the big one. I think it's like 10 ounces. It is huge. I mean, I think it's like that big. I don't know. I can't finish it, and I love steak. And they do cook your steaks perfectly here. And if you do not like how your steak is cooked, they will fix it up for you. That's another thing that I do love about this restaurant is that they want to please you so much. The service is outstanding, which also sets it apart from other restaurants at Disney Springs. Now, on the side, when I am in the mood to splurge a little more or for birthday occasions, I get the lobster's tail. It is also really, really good, and it goes perfectly with my filet mignon. So popular reservation times do book very, very fast, and you do need to make a reservation here way before you go. Basically, 60 days out, you need to be online and making a reservation, or you can actually make a reservation direct, and that is through OpenTable. Another one of my favorite places to eat at is Ragland Road. This is Ragland Road. It is very close to the Boathouse. The reason why I love Ragland Road is because of the ambiance and the unique dining experience. You probably gathered that this is an Irish pub, but it is unlike any Irish pub you've probably visited. They do have performers. So when you go into the restaurant, it is set up in different sections, and the main dining area, it's kind of like a circle area, and there is a stage there. Now, what happens here is there's live performances. There is a singer, usually a duo, singing Irish tunes. And in between this, there are Irish dancers, which I love. They are so great, and it really makes the whole dining experience just so unique, and you're kind of like, seeing a live show while you're eating, and there is no extra cost. To top it off, the food is pretty good too. I think they did change the name, the Pie in the Sky. You can say that. It is basically pot pie, and it comes with chicken inside, and I usually do get that. That is my favorite dish at Ragland Road. And I do like the strawberry mimosa. That is really, really good. And it's not really a mimosa. It's not in a champagne flute. It actually comes more in like a small traditional kind of martini glass or circular kind of glass, and it just doesn't taste like a mimosa. It is so good though, so you must try that. Also, the beer is pretty good. It is an Irish bar, so that is kind of a necessity. One tip I do have to give you is the main dining area is extremely popular for obvious reasons. Everyone wants to see the Irish dancers and the singers, and you don't get a view from everywhere in the actual restaurant. That's the only thing that kind of sucks. And you can't really book this dining area beforehand. So after you make your reservation, you go to the check-in area of Ragland Road and you can request to sit in the center of the dining room. But I do want to let you know, sometimes the wait to get these seats can run up to an hour. That's the longest I've ever really seen though. Usually when we request it, it's about a 20-minute wait max, but I have seen it go up to an hour, and I have waited an hour once to sit here. So that's just something you should be aware of. While we're in this area of Disney Springs, I must mention Morimoto Asia. It is right across from Ragland Road. So here it is right here. So basically, Ragland Road is on the right if you're facing it, and this Morimoto Asia is on the left. And we can see here, there's the main entrance where you can eat in the dining room, or on the left, there's that small area where you see those red flags hanging down. That is the street food area. So that's kind of like a quick service area where you can pick up some of the famous or popular things that you can get inside when you're seated in a dining area. I have done both, and I do enjoy both experiences. What I like to eat most here, and is the main reason why I'm recommending that you eat here, is to try the spare ribs. I think they're called the sticky hoisin sauce spare ribs. They are amazing and probably the best spare ribs I've ever had. The good news is that you don't need to dine inside to taste these. They are available at the street food quick service area, and you can order them too if you do not feel like dining inside. The food though is generally overall really good. I do dine here usually most times that I visit Walt Disney World. Let's get into some of my favorite snacks that you can have while visiting Disney Springs. First up is Amorette's Patisserie. It is a French-inspired bakery, and it has some really, really amazing sweets here that you can have. They have like a Mickey head kind of traditional pastry. They have eclairs, and they also on special occasions have the Patisserie cake, which is usually a fondant small cake with different flavors within inside depending on the occasion. And this petite cake usually is themed depending on the special occasion that is taking place at Disney Springs. When we go here, we usually get a couple to share, and we take a little bite from each one to see all the different textures and flavors of each of the desserts. Now, I must not forget, probably my favorite reason to go here is not for the baked goods. Sorry, I love the Rosa Regale mini topper drink. It is absolutely amazing, and it is their signature drink. It's kind of like this champagne that's rosé, and it has a chocolate mini ears topper on top of it that is really tasty too. While you're in this area, you also must stop at Dockside Margarita. Here it is. The name of it is kind of self-evident. You get the most amazing margaritas here. I do enjoy the strawberry margarita, but they do have a wide selection here, and it's never too busy. There's an area to sit off on the right, and there is usually live music during the day. The only thing I will say is that the drinks are not cheap here. They're about $18 per drink, so just take that into account before you head here. But they are worth the price. They're quite strong if that's your thing, and you won't need another one after you have it. So maybe that's reflected in the price. Now, right across from Dockside Margarita is Marketplace Snacks. And Marketplace Snacks usually has different types of snacks depending on the year. They all will change them frequently depending on the occasion, or monthly to different types. And I do love having them. I've had watermelon Dole Whip here. Also had different types of waffles here, and they're really, really good. And I really love that the actual waffle that you can get has Mickey ears punched in everywhere. It's really, really good. So I suggest you head on over here and see the offering, the treat they're offering, and try it out. Going back to the area of Morimoto and Ragland Road is also Wine Bar George. You can see it. It has two areas just like Morimoto. It has the actual dining establishment, which is on the left, and on the right where you go down these stairs is the basket. Now I usually just head to the basket. They have some really nice drinks here, and they also have some nice little snacks that you can have. I do enjoy the cheese balls I do enjoy the macaroni and cheese balls. They are really, really good. It might not sound that great, but it is. You'd be surprised just how tasty the mac and cheese are in these fried balls. Now, you can actually go eat inside, like I said. Most of the dishes here are meant to be shared. There's boards with meats and cheeses. There's also a big fish you can get. Also, a big kind of skirt steak with different spices on top that you can order. Obviously, they have lots of wine, but they also have drinks you can get here too. But like I said, I usually just eat at the basket because I get those mac and cheese balls with a drink, and it's just a really nice way to fill up while you're shopping. Lastly, there is Gideon's Bakehouse. Now, I was hesitant to put this on my list, but I knew if I didn't put this on my list of my favorite places to eat at Disney Springs, there would be maybe people mentioning it, because Gideon's Bakehouse is probably the most popular place to head when you're at Disney Springs. You can see it here. There is never not a line here. And what they serve here actually are these large cookies, and they usually have different toppings. This is their most popular chocolate chip cookie. You can see all those chocolate chips on top, and these cookies can weigh up to 1 pound. The thing is, I like the cookies here, but I'm not a fan of the wait. So basically, when you go to Disney Springs, the first thing you got to do if you want to get a cookie here is go sign up onto the waiting list, and then you can be called back from an hour to 2 to 3. It really depends on how many people are visiting Disney Springs on the day that you're there. And then you'll get a text message, and then you go back and just wait in a very short line, probably a couple of minutes, to get into Gideon's Bakehouse. The reason is it's very popular, and it's also very small inside, so the establishment can't fit that many people. Like I said, the cookies are good here. I don't see why they're so popular, though. They're just plain old cookies. I don't feel like they're any better than any other cookie I've had. And honestly, they kind of can be sugary, a little too sugary, and I feel like I get a sugar high and my heart starts racing. So I'm not a huge fan of getting one. I don't need a huge cookie. I don't want to feel sick all day. But other people do really like them. I think there's some mixed reviews though, so you can go check out the Google reviews. The main reason I do recommend going here though is for the actual experience. The inside is really, really nice and themed in this spooky, creepy kind of atmosphere. So you can see here that there's these kind of bookshelves, and they're kind of look old, and there's you can see where that actual server is. There's this kind of red area on the actual checkout area, and that actually has kind of this flame coming up, this red flame. It's not hot or anything, but it is really cool, and there's kind of some skulls around. The theming here is spectacular. It's probably, in my opinion, the reason why people want to go here even more than the cookies. It's kind of like going in your own attraction when you go here. So this is the main reason why I do put it on the list. I do like the cookies, but I do like the theming a lot better, and I do think it's worth seeing once. They also serve up different things here. You can see they have cakes there. They also have some type of different sugary drinks that you can get. So I've never tried those. I can't recommend them or not recommend them. So those are my must-visit places, restaurants, and snacks to have when you're at Disney Springs at Walt Disney World. Have you ever been to Disney Springs before? What are your favorite places to eat at while you're there? What are your favorite snacks? Let me know down in the comments below if I missed anything that you do enjoy at Disney Springs. I'm sure I did miss something. There's just so many options here. That's going to do it for this vlog. Please don't forget to subscribe to the Miss Diz channel so you never miss any of my updates and news coming from Walt Disney World and Disney Cruise Line.